Good morning. Kalimera σας. When I was a child and I learned about this parable, for whatever reason, I don't know if it was what the priest preached or what I just imagined in my own head, but I thought of the talents as things that I might be good at. When you're a little child, they say, "What are your talents?" You might say, "Well, I'm pretty good at singing. I might know how to dance a little bit. I can paint. I can do math problems well. I can read." Well, this is not about that. This is not about what things are we good at that we could offer to God. Now, that could make a very good sermon, but that's not what this is. This gospel is about. This gospel is about something very different. It's about God giving us very rich opportunities to serve Him and to expand His kingdom here on earth. When He expects us to grow the talent that He's entrusted to us, it's so that more people will come to know Christ. More people will come to love Him. Now you say, but what is that? How does that have to do with today's gospel? Aren't these words given to individuals? And we don't work as a church. We work as a church, we work as a group of individuals, not as one singular individual. But each one of us, individually speaking, has opportunities to minister to others, to serve others, to witness to others, to be an example to others, to show them God's love. And if we can multiply that talent, we will see that God is very pleased with us. If you heard today's gospel and you see it in that light, it might change a little bit your perspective. Think for a moment about some of the saints that we honor. I think without too much thought, we'd all say, these must be people who multiplied the talents. Now, St. Nectarius isn't honored because he had the greatest voice. I don't know if he did or not. That's not ever mentioned in the hymns. He's not often honored because of his great theology, although he was arguably a very good theologian. What is he honored for? He's honored for the fact that when he was persecuted, he endured. When he was maligned, he blessed. When he was slandered, he kept his mouth shut. He turned the other cheek in love toward those who abused him. And in the end, these people were won over for Christ. Maybe not all of them, but certainly a good number of them. And they changed their hearts toward him. I had the blessing, and perhaps you've had the blessing also, to go to Egina and to see the little room where St. Nectarios slept. It's a very small room. You could put 2 or 3 of them in the holy altar area of our church. It's big enough for a bed, a desk. I don't even know if there was room for a closet, and some sort of a wash basin to wash his face. As you go in that room and you notice the very humble way that he lived out his life, of course, he didn't die in that bed. I'm sure he would have liked to die there. But God allowed even a further humbling of this great man, and that is that he was sent to a hospital in Athens that it was really for the poorest of the poor, in a ward with many other people there in the beds, dying of prostate cancer. But anyway, in this room, if you go there, you will see a plaque with very fine writing, and to be honest with you, you might see it and just think, well, this is some sort of religious whatever, I'm not even going to pay attention to it. It has nothing to do with me. Besides, it's in Greek, I can't read it. But if you look a little closer, you'll notice that there's a seal of a lion on the bottom, a lion that has a halo and is holding some sort of a spear or staff. And you look a little closer, you see that it's from the Patriarchate of Alexandria, where St. Nectarius served. And the year on that paper is probably around the year 2001. Don't quote me on that, but around that time. When you read it, what do you see? You see an apology to the saint from the entire Patriarchate of Alexandria, the patriarch and all of his bishops, who had nothing to do, many of them weren't even alive when St. Nectarius died, had nothing to do with his ill treatment at the Patriarchate of Alexandria, which led to his exile, ultimately to Athens and then to Aegina. So what is it? Here are these people who are somehow related or descended anyway from those who maligned him, expressing their deep sorrow that they should have done something to speak ill of this holy man. And they want it in writing. They want it in writing that we should know that they apologize for what they did to him. St. Nectarius, by his many endurances, his turning the cheek, his loving his enemy, he multiplied the talent. Think how many people come to Christ knowing the story of St. Nectarius, or seeing, even though he's been long dead, St. Nectarius, or reading his life, or venerating his relics, or putting their ear on his casket and hearing either his footsteps or him sensing, or even, as I was blessed to hear, his very heartbeat. These are things that are indescribably hard to explain, but we certainly could all agree that he multiplied the talent entrusted to him. Each of these saints have similarly multiplied the talent entrusted to them. We also are given great talents to love, to forgive, to be patient, to endure, to sacrifice for others. These are the talents we need to learn to be good at, and we need to multiply. If you read the story very carefully, you'll notice that the fellow who was condemned by his master was the one who did nothing with that talent. In fact, he buried it. What this tells us, if you look at it a little bit, is in order to take any investment person, in order to make money from an investment, what's the most important thing you have to be willing to take? Does anybody know the answer to that? It's a 4-letter word. Risk, right? Risk. The fellow who made 10 talents, it wasn't he just, somehow had like a magic formula that could make 5 talents into 10 talents. He went and invested it. And he said, this guy's going on a trip. I look at his boat, looks like it's a pretty good boat. I'm going to invest in it, that he's going to be able to bring his wheat from, Egypt all the way to Israel. So I think he's going to do that, and he's going to get there safely, and he's not going to wreck the boat, and he's not going to lose the whole thing. So I'm going to invest in him, and he's going to pay me a share when he pays off and he gets the money for his grain. And I'm going to make some money. I'm willing to take the risk that he's going to do that. But some of his investments went bad. That boat sunk, and he lost the money. When we invest ourselves in trying to multiply the talents that God gives to us, sometimes we're going to come up short. Sometimes we're going to say to someone, hey, I forgive you. That thing you said to me bothered me, but I forgive you. And they might say, what are you talking about? I'm not even sorry. I don't even apologize. What are you talking about? You forgive me. Who do you think you are? And then we think, what just happened? I thought I was being generous and kind, and I got slapped in the face. So multiplying the talents isn't just a simple thing. It comes with a cost. It comes with a little bit of pain because there's risk involved. But if we're faithful with what we've been given, and we persist at trying to multiply that good talent given to us, I trust and I believe that you will all multiply it well. The only thing I don't want you to do, which is what Christ doesn't want you to do, bury the talent. Leave it up to somebody else to live that good and holy life, and you just be a normal person. Forget that. That's not how you get to heaven, and that's certainly not how you multiply the talent. Do your best to take risk in love for Christ. Amen.